Hi folks, RAYDVD here. Welcome to the Movie Reviewers 100 channel again. This week's theme is journeys, and I really like this theme. You know, I've got quite a lot of films based on like epic journeys, or metaphorical or literal. And this is what films are really good at. You know, the journey of the hero is one of the mainstays of most films. So we've had Big Al, he did Planes, Trains and Automobiles, which is a classic comedy starring Steve Martin and John Candy. And we've had EJ doing the poignant drama Into the Wild, based on a true story. And both those films are fantastic, I really like them. So the film I'm going to speak about is one of my all-time favourite films, and it is the 2000 film Castaway, starring Tom Hanks. It was directed by Robert Zemeckis, and the basic story is Tom Hanks plays Chuck Nolan, who survives a plane crash, and he's been washed up on a desert island. So at the beginning of the film, we see Chuck. He's a FedEx employee, and he's in Russia, and he's lecturing the factory of FedEx employees about the importance of timekeeping. He's time obsessed, you know, and he's drumming into them, you know, you have to get these parcels away on time, you have to get them delivered on time, and nothing else will do, no second bests. So next thing we see him he's at a Christmas party with his girlfriend Kelly Frears, played by the excellent Helen Hunt. And there's no like other friends and family around the table and that, and they're all sort of having a great time. Chuck is a gregarious character, he's an extrovert, and you know, he's life and soul of the party and stuff. And he's getting on well and everything, you know, he's overweight, but he's happy, he's at a good place in his life, and you know, he's in a good job and stuff. His bleeper goes off, and then he's to get on a plane for FedEx to go to somewhere. So him and Kelly are in their Jeep or their car, and they exchange Christmas gifts, and it turns out that Chuck's going to ask Kelly to marry him on New Year's night. He doesn't get an answer, no, he says, leave it till I come back, I'll just be gone for a minute. Hence, and then he has the big plane crash, you know, he ends up on a desert island. When he gets to the desert island, you know, he's there on his own, and then a couple of the FedEx boxes wash up on the shoreline and stuff, but he's all alone. He doesn't know how to fend for himself, really. You know, he can't make fire at the beginning, and he can't open up coconuts and stuff. And unfortunately, one of the pilots washes up on the shoreline. He's dead, you know, and so he buries him. And Chuck comes to realise that he's all alone on this island. You know, is he going to survive? He starts opening up some of the boxes to see what he can forage, you know, to keep, you know, to make his life better and stuff, you know. And then he gets various items and stuff. And then in one of the boxes is a volleyball. So he's trying to make fire one night, and then he cuts his hand with blood and stuff, and he goes absolutely, you know, he's like angry at his cell and stuff that he can't do this one sort of simple thing, and he throws the volleyball and stuff, and then eventually he puts a hand on it, and he realises that the hand makes a face, you know. So he paints it all, you know, he licks it, and then he makes the eyes and the nose and the mouth and stuff, and then eventually he just starts talking away to the volleyball, who he names Wilson, because it was a Wilson sports product. And so he's getting by, you know, but he's barely just surviving, you know, he can't fish or anything. And then you know, there's lots of sort of exploring the island and trying to survive, build a fire. He might eventually he can make fire and stuff. And then cuts, you know, there's a scene cut, and next thing we know, it's 4 years later, and Chuck has slimmed down, you know, he's been on a fish diet, a fish and coconut diet, and he's lean, and he can spear fish, you know, from a great distance and stuff, and he's a completely changed man. Where in the outside world he was an extrovert, here he's like he's really quiet, he's introverted, and he's just he talks to Wilson probably to keep his sanity, you know. So he thinks about, at first he thinks about leaving the island, no, trying to get away from the island, but he gets washed back up on shore, and then he's sort of given up for. He thinks he's going to die on the island, you know. And then one day, a part of a portable toilet at the side of a portable loo washes up on shore, and he gets the idea that this could be a sail, you know. So he starts planning to leave the island. You know, he builds a raft, and he's just waiting for the right time. You know, it's like he's counting down the weeks to when the wind changes, and eventually he's hoping that he can get off the island. Eventually he does get off the island, and he goes back. He gets rescued by a passing big freighter, and he comes back, and next time you see him, you know, he's on a plane, but he's like totally, he's, like I says, he's a totally changed character. No, he's just like, everything is internal now. And one of the FedEx employees that had been talking to one of his pals says that they had given up for dead. You know, they had had a burial for him, and they had all buried stuff in his coffin and stuff. And then you know, they've got a big party and whatever at the airport, you know, to celebrate him coming back. He's desperate to see Kelly, his girlfriend, you know, and little does he know though that this guy turns up, and it's his dentist. You know, it's actually how the irony is, his dentist here, and he says that Kelly's married. You know, she's got a daughter now, and she couldn't be to see him that day, but he looks at the curtain and he sees Kelly, you know, and then she's like, she doesn't know what to think. You know, she's upset. She's wanting to run back in the place, but the dentist husband, he takes her away. And then we cut to the scene where Chuck's in the hotel, you know, and then he's like, he's having a party, and then all the food is seafood, the last thing that he would want to see after being on a desert island for 4 years. His pal gets all the people to leave, and then he says, right, well, you've got a big day tomorrow, we're bringing you back from the dead, you know. Sorry, on the paper-wise, you know, the documents and that, national insurance and that, whatever. But it goes round to Kelly's house, and then this is where she explains, no, that she never gave him up. No, she always thought he was alive, and then she had all the press cuttings and everything. And Chuck doesn't know what to think. No, he's like, he's happy, but he's absolutely devastated. No, this is Kelly kept him gone. He had a wee locket, and this is what kept him alive on the island. You know, and then now his world was smashed again to pieces. So, you know, there's a tearful sort of farewell. You know, they're still in love, but it can't be. You know, she's made a life for herself, and Chuck's having to give her up. So he goes back to the hotel where he speaks to his pal. You know, he says, like, you know, he's lost her for a second time, and he says there was a time on an island where he was wanting to kill himself. He had actually planned it all out and that, and he says then this portable loo turned up on the shore, and this is what gave him hope. And this is what he says. He says, no, I've lost Kelly for a second time. He says, I'll just, no, and then he says, what, I'll just have to keep on breathing. And that's what he learned on the island. No, who knows what the tide will bring in. And then, so the next time we see him, you know, the next part of the film is he's actually kept one FedEx box unopened. So he's in a car on his way to deliver this package after 4 years, and it goes away. It's like, I don't know where it is. It's like Dakota or somewhere. It's like out in cowboy country. And I forgot to say at the beginning of the film, we actually seen where the package came from and who it was from. It was an architect lady. So he's delivering it to the house, and no, the lady's no one, so he leaves a note on the door, no, this package saved my life and stuff, get in contact or whatever. He drives away, and then a van, he's waiting at a crossroads, you know, and then he's looking what a different direction that he can go in, you know, and then this van pulls up, and it's the architect lady, but he doesn't know it's the architect lady. And on the package was a wee sort of double wing sort of logo. And no, he asks her direction, you know, what way is good to go, and then she sort of points him in the various directions and that. And then when the van goes away, he notices on the back of the van that there's a logo there. So you just see him thinking at the end of the film, and that's how the film ends. It's absolutely a fantastic film, and Tom Hanks really deserved to go. Some of the things that you'd like to know about the film is Hanks, he gained £50 at the beginning of the film, you know, before filming began, to give him that bloated look at the beginning. You know, he was a big guy, you know, he liked his food and stuff, and this is his character at the beginning of the film. Then the film was halted. You know, they filmed the sort of initial part of the film at the beginning, and then the film halted for a year so that Hanks could lose all that weight, and then so that the dramatic appearance of him 4 years later in the film, it just looks like, you know, he's a different character, he's a different man. And at that time, you know, when they stopped filming, Zemeckis actually made another film called What Lies Beneath, which I think it was Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford film. And FedEx plays a big part in this film, but they didn't get they weren't paid anything for product placement at all in this film. And Hanks is on screen quite a lot on his own. You know, the majority of this film, he's on screen himself, which is a pretty difficult thing to do, to keep the audience, to keep them focused on this character, and to care for this character. The only other character that was in the film was a little well-known actor called Spalding Volleyball, who he's appeared in a few films way back in the 80s. I think he appeared in a film called Side Out. He had a bit part player in there, and we hadn't seen him for years and years. I hadn't personally seen him for years and years, right up until Top Gun came out, and I'm sure Spalding Volleyball was actually in a scene in Top Gun, and then he got a starring role. He waited years and years for his starring role in Castaway, and he was really fantastic, real method actor in Castaway. So look out for Spalding Volleyball. I haven't heard from him for a couple of years now, but I'm sure he'll pop up in another film. So other things to mention in the film is the soundtrack. There's hardly any music in the film. I think there's maybe a wee bit at the beginning, but all through Tom Hanks being on the island, there is absolutely no musical soundtrack on it at all. In the director's commentary on that, they explained that they wanted the sound of the ocean, the sound of the wind and the rain and the hurricanes and that. He wanted that to be a character in the actual film. And the first time that we really hear the music is when Chuck manages to escape the island on the raft. He just beats the breaker waves, and then this is a big sense of achievement, and this is where the music really comes in its own. And the themes of the film are, like I say, Chuck Nolan, he's an extrovert at the beginning of the film. He's overweight, but he's got all this. He's like, he can't stop. He's time obsessed, and then when he crashes in the plane, it's like time slows down. You know, you've just got to take each day as it comes. Loneliness, as well. How do you deal with being lonely on an island? How do you stop yourself from going crazy? Not speaking to anybody or whatever. And also, like at the crossroads of, you always come to a crossroads. There's no one line of life. You're always at a crossroads in various parts of your life, and this is you see the Nolan character. He comes to various crossroads in his life, and there's no a right way, there's no a wrong way, and the theme is don't give up hope. It's keep breathing, as he says in the film, and this is what I took to the film. I think it's just an amazingly uplifting film. So sorry it's a bit long, but I really love this film, and I wanted to get everything I did. I wanted to say everything about the film that I like about it. So thanks for watching, and look out for the other guys' reviews during the week.